Here's a bead head gold ribbed hare's ear. As you can see, it's got the bead head, as the name implies. That bead might be a little difficult to get on the hook, so what you might need to do is just pinch down the barb on that hook just so the bead can pass through. Keep in mind that these beads often have a large end and a small end on the holes. You want to put the small end in first, so the small end is towards the eye of the hook, the larger end is towards the back. That'll also help you put the bead on. I just take a pair of forceps like this and pinch the barb down if the hook's not going through the bead enough. First thing we want to do is you want to tie on that thread. I was about to put on a tail. Let's get a thread on here first. I'm going to tie on some thread, cut off the excess. I'm going to wrap this towards the back, just a layer of thread here. Then we want to take that zonker strip, that's this rabbit hair strip. We're just going to take a small clump of this for the tail of this fly. You can see we're not going to take much of it. Just cut that off of the strip. Pull out the back side. Sometimes you get some of the under fur. Just to get that out. We'll just take that little clump here and tie it in the back. It's a nice little tail there. I'm going to bring the thread back to the back. I'm going to take some of this gold ribbing. I'm going to cut a section off of the piece I've got here, just to make it a little bit more manageable as I'm tying. Especially when I start to wrap this, I'll want it smaller and manageable. So I'm going to tie that in towards the back of the hook again, leaving the thread right at the back. Now we're going to take some of the rabbit hair dubbing, and with this you just need a little pinch. So I'm just going to reach in, take a small pinch out of here. I'm going to pull off some thread, make a dubbing rope here. If you get your fingers wet a little, that'll help roll this tight on here. Tighten it up. And slide it up towards the top. We're going to start wrapping that on now for the body. I'm going to stop about there. Maybe another wrap. We can pull off some excess if we need to. A couple of wraps. And then we're going to take that gold rib and just wrap that. We're only going to get maybe 3 passes on this hook, but that'll kind of help keep the dubbing in place a little and give a little bit more flash to this. Help it be seen a little bit more. We're going to lock that ribbing in place, and then we can cut off the excess of that. I'm creeping up on that bead a little, so I'm just going to kind of roll it back, tighten down some of that body. And now we're going to take this turkey feather. You can see it's been cut already, and that's fine because we're not using it on the very ends of the feather. So I'm just going to take a section, a couple pieces. Sometimes I like to take my bodkin and just kind of force it in there and split those apart. I want to keep these pieces together that I'm going to use. Try to keep them together best I can. It's easier to manage that way, and in the end we want them next to each other when they're sitting on the fly. So we're going to cut those, and then I'm going to tie them in going back towards the tail of the fly here. Trying to lay this on top of the hook. Let's try getting that again. Hang on a second. Lay that on the top of the hook. Now we want to come back and get some more of this rabbit dubbing. Make that dubbing rope again underneath here. Push it up towards the top. A couple of wraps here. Pull off the excess. Another wrap to hold that down. And then we're going to bring that turkey feather over the top and tie that in right behind that bead. And if you got a good pair of pointy scissors, this is where they come in handy, and you can snip right in there. Another wrap or two to get those locked in. Then the whip finisher to finish off the fly. A couple of wraps like that. I like to do 2. And cut off that thread. And that's the bead head gold ribbed hare's ear. That bead is nice because it helps you get the fly down a little bit. Adds a little bit more weight, a little bit more flash when it's underneath the water surface, and hopefully attract the fish for you.